Hey everybody! Hope you're having a great week so far. Happy Wednesday. You know what that means. It is time for Spirit Wisdom Wednesday, where we gather here in the healing space and allow some healing spirit wisdom to flow through. If you are new to me, I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for crossing paths with me. My name is Meredith, and this is my heart-centered business, the Healing Hummingbird. And this week, if you saw my post earlier this week, you'll know that Spirit wants to talk about names and specifically what's in a name. And turns out there's a whole lot to a name that Spirit wants to go into. Some really beautiful messages we have here. If you find me looking down, it's because I have a lot of notes here. They had a lot to say about this. So if you are here, don't forget to leave me a comment so I can see your name pop up. Since we are talking about names, I want to make sure I say your name so you can hear that vibration, which is something that Spirit wants to talk about. It's the vibrational quality of your name. And if you hear something I like or love, feel free to hit the like or love button just to let us know that Spirit's messages are flowing through loud and clear. And as always, stick around to the end for your free week ahead readings. Okay, so let's get into it. What's in a name? So much. But I was able to have Spirit condense it into 3 categories. And so they want to start with history. And so a lot of names can be inherited. So there's, your whole family history sometimes is tied up in your name. It can be reflective of lineage. For example, my name is Meredith. That is a Welsh name, and I do have Welsh heritage. And I wanted to give this really beautiful example of my great aunt who just passed away, rest her soul. Her name was Ada. And sometimes history can mean a story behind a name. And her name, they told us at the funeral, has such a beautiful story behind it. She was born premature. They didn't know if she was going to make it. And my whole family grew up in Kentucky, so they just brought this tiny little baby home in this country town, and there were missionaries going door to door. And when they found out that she was there, they came in and asked to see the baby, and the parents said, well, we haven't named her yet because they weren't sure that she was going to make it. And the missionary's name was Ada, and she was like, well, her name is Ada now, and it's Ada with an H. So it was really specific about the way it was spelt because of the biblical reference. And that's something that my great aunt loved to tell, that story of how she was named Ada. So sometimes history doesn't just mean, where people immigrated from. Like in my case, it can mean like a special story. And something else they're bringing up, which is kind of funny, is it can even be like a place or like a time they were born. Like have you heard of people being named like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that? And they're saying it's a really important celebration of your first formal acknowledgement by your fellow human beings of your arrival on Earth, which is really exciting. And now the second thing they wanted to talk about what makes names so special and sacred in a way is the visceral reaction you have to hearing your name. They say it is a mini activation. So just to test this out, let me say hi to everyone who's here. Dawn, so glad to see you. Connie, so glad you could make it. And Lola, awesome, so glad to see you. And as you ladies just experienced, when you hear your name, there's something in you that goes, there's just something that lights up. It's like a little mini activation because there is a vibrational frequency and a cadence to your name that you become familiar with, and it becomes part of your identity here on Earth. And you can even feel this when somebody says a word or phrase that sounds like your name, but isn't quite your name. And the only example I have of this, there are not many things that sound like Meredith. Merry Christmas will do it just a little bit. But if somebody says, well, I guess you have to have a country accent for this, like my family does. If somebody says, there it is, really fast, there it is. It sounds like Meredith. And I'm like, what? Me? No. And they also wanted to bring up that's why your name is included in oaths and formal acknowledgments. You know, I'm Meredith Ann Johnson. You know, you have to sign your full name, makes things extra important and official. And they also wanted to touch on getting it right. If you think back to a time when somebody really cared to clarify your name if they weren't sure how to say it or spell it, if you're anything like me, it leaves you feeling the interaction, feeling seen and heard and recognized and respected. And, you know, on the flip side, if you think of a time that someone just glosses through your name or blows right through it, and gets it wrong, and you might even like try to correct them, but you can just tell some people even will like assign you a little nickname if they think your name is like too complicated, which can be really hurtful. You know, it really sucks. And Spirit's like, you know, it doesn't take much effort to get someone's name right, and it is so important. It is an integral part of who we are in the physical form. And it's really beautiful when we take the time to really acknowledge each other. It's almost like a form of namaste. You know, the light within me acknowledges and sees the light within you. And that brings us to the last point, which is identity and recognition. So for all those reasons, the history, the stories, the mini activations, when you hear your name, it's so important to get it right. And Spirit wants to let you know, don't be afraid to correct people. Even if it might feel uncomfortable, allow yourself to take up space and go, oh, you know, that wasn't quite right. It's actually pronounced this way. You know, don't apologize for your name. Don't apologize for who you are, is what Spirit's saying. And it really is a sacred recognition. And they wanted me to talk about a couple personal examples with names as a theme in my life. And it's so funny, you know, I just came back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And sometimes I will get the theme for the week, and sometimes I'll say, Spirit, can you let me know if I got that right, that the theme is names? I'd really love to know. And I started seeing my name in shops, and my name is not commonly on things that, you know, like little name tags. So I was like, whoa. And then I saw like my family name and then my cat's name. So that's a sweet synchronicity that I wanted to share. But I also wanted to share why I named my cat Sweet Pea. It was for two main reasons. That was my mom's nickname for me growing up. And I wanted my cat to feel that vibrational quality. And animals can so feel this too. They really, really can. I wanted her to feel how special and loved I felt as a child when I was called Sweet Pea. And the second reason I named her that is because when you say Sweet Pea, you almost have to smile a little bit. And it's a hard name to say angrily. Like if she's getting in trouble, Sweet Pea, like it still sounds adorable. Like, what are you going to do? And this is kind of like a completely opposite example of names and how important they are. It's really like a gauge of how present someone is if someone just like can't get a name right. And I'm sad to say, in my last job, which was super misaligned, I was not supposed to be there and I knew it, I could not remember anybody's name. I couldn't remember anybody's name because I didn't want to be there, and like mentally I was doing anything I could to not be there. And I felt so awful. Literally, I came with a notebook and took notes. Like I drew like a map of our desks and I wrote people's names down because I felt so bad that I was getting it wrong. So those are some examples from my own life of how important I know that names are. And it's funny. You might notice, Spirit wants to talk about this for some reason. Sometimes people will avoid saying names altogether. They'll say you a lot, or just talk to you and not say your name ever, which is interesting. There's some kind of layer there, like a lack of acknowledgement. So Spirit wants us to pay attention to that as well. But yeah, that's what's in a name and a whole lot more. So I wanted to share that with you this week. Hi, Brittany. So glad you could make it. You know, we're practicing the name thing so you can feel that little mini activation inside. I think I saw Tiffany here as well. All right. Lola says my last name gets butchered all the time. Yeah, I know. And you know, sometimes it doesn't even have to do with how common a name is or not. My roommate in college, her name is Chelsea. And when we were graduating, the guy announcing it said every Chelsea like Chelsea. And we were both like, oh my gosh, how could he get this name wrong? And they say ahead of time, you know, you can write it out like phonetically if you have a name that you want to make sure he gets right. And I was like, oh my gosh, he can say Meredith, but he got Chelsea wrong? Like, it's just a really weird block that some people have. So, okay, that's what was in a name, a whole lot. And for you literary people out there, you'll know that that is a Shakespeare reference as well. So it's a sweet little tidbit I wanted to include. And then before we head into week ahead readings, I did have a special request from someone who's watching right now. You know who you are. And she wanted me to draw a card for her to see if she is doing the right thing for her path. I won't say exactly what the question is, just to respect her privacy, just in case. So I just wanted to quickly pull one card for her, and then we will do our groups. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And this is the Medicine Woman Tarot. By the way, this is one of my favorite decks. So, Miss Viewer, you have Chariot or Warrior, as it is in the Medicine Woman. You have the Totem of Arrows, which would be the Page of Swords. And you also have the Nurturing Lodge of Bowls, which is the Queen of Cups. That's a big yes. You are on the right track. Yes. So that was a short and sweet answer, but we do need to get into our groups. So I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, so let's tap into our heart space here. If you want to join me in putting your hands over your heart and taking a deep breath in. And a smooth, slow exhale out. And let's connect to our intuition and our heart space. You can invite your spirit guides to come in and ask them to communicate to you which group holds your message for the week ahead. We have 3 groups. You could see a number, you could hear, or you could just know immediately what number it is, which group that you're in. Let's see. And this week, since they were talking about vibrational frequencies, the objects that we have to choose from are really sounds, which is interesting. So the first group, you have Tingshas, and it sounds like this. That's group number 1. Group number 2 is this sweet little bell. It has a tree on it, and it sounds like this. And for group number 3, we have my Shaman's Rattle with the hummingbird and lotus on it. She sounds like this. Okay, so now that you have your group, let's go ahead. Interesting. Okay, so Spirit wants to start with this really special book I have. That's a book of hands. And it has, we'll start off with this, and if we need to pull another deck, we will. But this only has 1 word or 1 phrase per page. So let's see. For group number 1, if you were the Tingshas, if you felt activated by that sound, let's go ahead and get your week ahead message. Okay. And you have a compass, and it says, be where you are. So I feel like the week ahead for you, group number 1, may involve some kind of decision, or you may feel pulled in a couple different directions. And Spirit wants to let you know that there's always peace available to you in the present moment. And to just take a moment and sit with it. They're saying don't forget to breathe. And I'm seeing little time outs. So maybe it's hectic this week, group number 1. I'm seeing little tiny things. Maybe you just break away from whatever you're doing to go get a drink of water, or you sit outside in your car for a little bit of peace and quiet. Some of you may have loud family members or people that you live with. You're even like going into the bathroom for a couple minutes by yourself. And it's like, hey, if that's what you need to do to feel connected with the present moment, Spirit's like, go ahead and go with it. And to clarify here, you have the 4 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So in your particular situation, group number 1, it looks like you're really well off. It doesn't feel like there's any reason to worry about money or about stability, but there's this feeling of doneness. Like I'm hearing, I'm over it, which is really funny. And so Spirit wants to talk to you about gratitude. And if this resonates with you, group number 1, especially with the Tingshas, they're talking about when you're taking those little time outs to use your time wisely, to make sure you're doing breathing exercises and paying attention to the different sensations going on in your body to ground you and bring you into the present moment. If you're familiar with a body scan meditation, where you put attention on very specific parts of your body and move all the way up, it reconnects you to your energy field. So I'm seeing that being really helpful to reintegrate you into the present moment, because Spirit's saying there's a lot to be grateful for. Even though it may not feel like it at the moment, there really is. They're saying you're so much better off than you think. And that if you just drop into the present moment, they're showing it like a little box, like this little box opens that's full of gratitude and it just comes up like little hearts. So they're talking about shifting your perspective into love and gratitude. And let's see, I feel like there's one more thing for you, group number 1. Okay. And if this is you, group number 1, I feel for you. I'm having like a hard time kind of focusing, so you may be feeling like that as well in the week ahead. It just feels like I have so many things to do, I don't know where to look. That's the that's the energy of the week ahead. Okay. Spirit wanted to... Ooh. And my nose is itchy. And whatever that happens during a reading, to me that signifies fairy energy. So you may personally identify with that, have your own meaning with it. But if you're like, fairies, what are you talking about? So it can be like a sense of playfulness. Like in the week moving forward, Spirit might be getting your attention in ways that are really sweet and really kind of funny or mischievous. So be on the lookout for that. Those are always really fun. And then you have Turtle Spirit. That's the other card they wanted to pull. And the turtle for me feels very stable. The number 4 is coming up. which for me is stability. And it's not really so much about slow and steady, but it's about like the steadiness of your energy, if that makes sense. And they're reminding me of this, I believe it's a Buddhist saying, but I've also heard Eckhart Tolle, who is a great teacher that I really admire, say, hurry slowly. It's like a moving meditation. If you can embody that idea of moving meditation into your week ahead, it's going to feel a lot less hectic for you, and you'll be able to see and feel and appreciate how much support is around you. So, group number 1, that was your message for the week ahead. I hope that resonates. And I will see you next time. Okay, group number 2. If this little bell resonated for you, this is your week ahead message. Okay, so let's start with the hands first. Oh, okay. You got a peach, and it says, pick a good one. Huh, interesting. I'm going to need more context for this, so I will go right to the other cards. Sounds like we've got a lot of decision makers with us this week. Group number 1 was making a decision as well, or just around a lot of energy that was pulling in different directions. This group feels more focused than group number 1, so maybe this is a decision that you've been planning for. Let's see. Okay. So you have, in this deck, it's called the Exemplar of Bowls. This would be the King of Bowls, King of Cups. And the 3 of Wands. Wow. Okay. So group number 2, this week, Spirit really wants you, or is inviting you, to tap into your intuition. You've got some ships coming in, or some plans that have paid off, maybe investments that are paying off. An investment can mean time or energy. It doesn't have to always be money. But there's something materializing for you that you've been planning for, and you've been waiting very patiently for the payoff. And there's going to be some kind of step forward in the right direction. And it feels like this is going to be something that's delivered to you. So something that you just receive, not something that you need to do on your to-do list. So I feel like you've been doing a lot, group number 2. And then the King of Cups really says a lot about you. I love a King of Cups person. So this would be someone who is very measured, very intuitive, very emotionally intelligent, and a great communicator. And this is typically someone who is asked to lead, not someone who wants to be a leader, but someone who is asked to lead by others. So Spirit wants to bring that up and let you know, maybe this is something that you've been concerned about, that your peers really think highly of you and really enjoy talking to you. When someone talks to you, they leave that conversation feeling like they have really been understood and they're really heard and really acknowledged. Okay, and let's see what your animal spirit is to give us some more advice about picking a good one. So maybe group number 2, this feels a bit different, not so much picking, but like something is just going to be presented to you and it's up to you to say yes or no to it. That's what it feels like. And it feels like you have 2 spirit animals this week. So let's see what this is all about. Okay, we have the mouse and the moth. Interesting. So the letter M could be significant for you. The mouse is all about details. And the moth, they're showing the moth in relation to a flame and being drawn to it. So Spirit's saying, don't get so caught up in the details. Don't let the details of how maybe this opportunity that's presented to you, you'd like to accept, but you're like, how? I don't even know how that would work out. Spirit's saying, don't let the details take away from your flame, from moving towards something you're passionate about. They're saying you're going to know in your gut whether it's a yes or no right away. It's either going to be a hell no or a hell yes, and you're going to know immediately. So maybe you are someone who tends to overthink like I do, and Spirit's encouraging you to shut that off this week and really tune into how you're feeling in your heart space, and your intuition as well. I feel like is really going to be lit this week. So if you're wanting help or advice, they're saying that you could do this before bed, and your spirit guides could show you in a dream the answer, or you could wake up just knowing the answer. And they're wanting me to tell you about this technique that has to do with recalling your dreams. I studied dreams for a long time in college, actually. And this technique is super simple. You just pour yourself a glass of water and you sit it on your nightstand, and you tell yourself, when I wake up, while you're drinking half the glass of water, you say to yourself, almost like a mantra, when I get up, I will drink the other half of this glass of water and I will remember my dream. So apparently that's important. Apparently you're going to have some messengers coming to you in your dreams, group number 2. So, oh, and you know what? There's something else they want to add about that. If you're open to it, it does feel like there's some passed on loved ones that would like to come through, possibly in your dreams as a visitation. So if you're open to that, of course, they would only do that ethically. So make sure if you're open to experiencing that, make sure to affirm, I am open to visitations from loved ones in spirit during my dreams tonight. So just make sure that they know, because they'd love to show up for you. So, that was your message, group number 2 for the week ahead. I hope that resonates. And I will see you next time. Okay, so group number 3, if the rattle, if this sound felt activating to you, this is your week ahead message. And immediately they want me to go in the reverse order of decks. Interesting. So it feels like maybe there will be maybe you're in the middle of backpedaling, group number 3, retracing steps. Let's see what they have to say about that. Whoa. Okay. All right. We have the vulture. So we're starting with the spirit animals. And the wolf. So, okay, the vulture would make sense if you feel like you're moving backwards. This could be after something in your life has ended or feels like it has been a waste of time. Maybe something didn't quite work out as you expected. But the vulture this has nothing to do with this deck. This is my special meaning for the vulture. Means to me that nothing is wasted. Even if it feels like maybe there's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda going on that Spirit's talking about. And they're letting you know that even if you said yes to something that didn't work out to be picture perfect, is the way they're saying it. They're saying that you didn't waste your time. They're saying that if something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean you did the wrong thing. Sometimes we're meant to go through things and then have them end a certain way. So I hope that's making sense to you, group number 3. And with the wolf, this is making me feel like it may have to do with family or with a group of friends, a circle that feels really close to you. And it feels like we have multiple people in group number 3. So just keep that in mind, that multiple messages will come through. But with the wolf, it's usually about some kind of pack and feeling really connected to the pack. And if you represent this wolf energy, you're someone who really cares about the pack. So if for you, it's a family situation, maybe you feel like you're the one that's the glue that holds people together, that makes the plans. And it could really be hurtful to a wolf personality if you make plans for a group and for some reason it doesn't work out. Or there's a member of the group that's just not doing the things. And if that's resonating with you, Spirit wants to let you know that it's not your fault. That's a big message that's coming through. And there's this sense of guilt with group number 3 that Spirit would love to help you release. But there's no need to hold on to guilt. If something didn't work out, it wasn't your fault. So let's get some medicine woman cards. Maybe clarify the situation and get a bit of advice on the outcome of the week. Okay. We have the 5 of Pentacles, which looks really different in this deck. Sorry, for some reason this camera does not want to focus on these cards. But if you are a reader yourself, of course you'll remember the 5 of Pentacles has 2 people walking in the snow outside. And this is a super different meaning or super different visual. And it has to do with giving to the community. Okay. So maybe you feel left out in the cold after giving. So maybe that's clarification on the situation. Okay, we've got 10 of Wands. So this is something that would feel like a burden to you for sure. Maybe something you've been carrying with you and you just don't know what to do about it. And then we have the 3 of Bowls. Okay, that's great. That's a great resolution. The 3 of Bowls for me is all about celebrating as a community, having a great time, maybe even partying. So group number 3, it feels like there's going to be an opportunity to reunite your pack, or maybe even start your new pack. Maybe there's a totally new venture that you're going on, and you might be feeling like, where are my people? Where are my friends? And Spirit's saying they're on the way for sure. And you all are going to have some great times together. But in order to get there, group number 3, these are some pretty significant personal blockages that you could work on. The 5 of Pentacles traditionally would be like a lack mindset, or feeling like I don't have enough, or that nobody cares and I've been left behind. And then this would, a 10 of, sorry, I keep seeing pipes. This would be almost like martyr syndrome, like taking on way more than you can handle and not being able to say no when you need to. But even if you do have to say no, and I'm feeling like maybe you will have to say no to something, remember, nothing has been wasted. If you have to back out of something at the last minute or at a time that doesn't seem ideal, Spirit wants to let you know that that's not your fault, and it's okay to allow yourself some grace, to allow yourself to heal, and to prioritize yourself over the pack. Sometimes you have to do that, is what Spirit's saying. And then let's get our final message for group number 3, since that was a bit of a heavier one. Let's see. Oh, okay, we have a handkerchief. And it says, feel deeply. And they're talking about your like actual hands. So maybe some activities with your hands can help take your mind off of this. Some of you may even like cross stitch or knit or something like that. Spirit's saying that would be a great thing to get into. Or even anything tactile, you know, like even shuffling cards can help clear the mind. So Spirit's inviting you to partake in some of those hands-on activities in the week ahead to help you cope and help you heal and help you let go of whatever's gone wrong in your pack. And it does feel, I am feeling some emotional release with this. So Spirit wants to let you know that they are with you. This is so sweet. Someone here must really need to hear this, that you're not alone. You are so loved and you're so held. And this is passing. They're not saying this is going to pass. It's already passing. Spirit's already taking it off your plate. They're just saying, allow us to take it off your plate, and we will. So, group number 3, I hope that resonated with you with the rattle. You know what? I should have known that this rattle would have the hard-hitting message because that's what it's used for. It's used to move big energy. So, I hope that resonated, group number 3. Sending you so much love and light, and take care. Let's see. Let's just check in a bit. Okay. Connie says, I don't have a week ahead. Am I choosing the right job? Oh, she says, sorry, I was confused. Connie, if you're wanting to know, am I choosing the right job? I can get a quick answer for you. Let's see. In case that's what it is, in case it's the yes or no, let me just quickly. Ooh. Connie. Yes, you're choosing the right job. You got big pentacle energy. You got the king and queen of pentacles. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen them come out together like that. That's a huge yes, yes, yes. Especially for pentacles to come out in a job and the king and queen, the divine feminine and divine masculine. Huge, huge yes. So I'm so happy for you. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you, Dawn, and everyone here for showing up. I just absolutely love our sacred time together. And I hope that the name theme really resonated with you. It was so funny that I kept seeing name synchronicities coming up. And it's something that's, yeah, I've just been seeing come up a lot lately. So maybe there are a lot of people being named different things, or maybe your name is just coming up to you personally a lot lately. If that's the case, I'd love to hear it, of course. And as always, I hope you have an excellent week ahead, sending you so much love and light, and I will see you next time. Take care.